In 1943, the Pacific Theater was in full swing as the Allies sought to take over the Japanese Empire's islands. The Japanese Air Force built the Nakajima Ki 84 Hayate to help turn the tide of the war in their favor. This single-engine aircraft, considered the finest Japanese fighter, left a strong mark with the 11th Sentai Air Group, able to take down the iconic Boeing B-29's superfortresses. The fast and versatile model quickly gained a reputation as a combat aircraft, surprising the United States Army Air Forces. In 1942, Japan's war planners sought a replacement for the Nakajima Ki 43 Hayabusa tactical fighter. Nakajima engineers designed a new aircraft plan to combine Hayabusa maneuverability with improved firepower and performance to match best Western fighters. The Ki-84 Hayate, a single-seat fighter, was created. The Hayate, or Gale, was a cantilever low-wing monoplane with a slender fuselage. Due to a shortage of aluminum, the Ki-84's rear and other components were made of wood covered with lacquer. The Hayate's windshield was made of bulletproof glass to protect the pilot, and the cockpit offered exceptional visibility. Powered by one Homer HA-45 radial engine with 1,800 horsepower that is fuel-injected, the engine was equivalent to a Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine. With a 1.5-hour endurance and a 250-mile range, the Ki-84 could attain a maximum speed of 387 miles per hour and over 500 miles per hour while diving. The Hayate took 6 minutes and 26 seconds to ascend 16,405 feet. Additionally, it was regarded as an easy-to-fly aircraft, which made it perfect for teaching. Better than the two smaller weapons of its predecessor, the fighter's armament had 2 wing-mounted cannons and 2 fuselage-mounted synchronized machine guns. Furthermore, the Ki-84's defensive armor provided Hayate pilots with increased protection, thanks to its utilization of several bulkheads in the fuselage, a 2.56-inch armored glass canopy, and 0.51-inch head and back armor. In the event of an assault, the fuel and methanol water tanks that provided emergency power were similarly protected by such thick armor. 1 month after the Ki-84's first flight in March 1943, deliveries of the aircraft were made from the Ota plant in Nakajima. Nevertheless, it took until late the following year for Japan's newest fighter to engage in battle in China with the 22nd Air Regiment. In the end, more than 3,500 of the aircraft would be produced. The Tokorozawa Airport, built in 1911, was the headquarters of the Army Aviation Research and Development Center of the Imperial Japanese Army Air Force. It served as a technical and logistics center for Sentai air groups, including the 11th Sentai, one of Japan's oldest and most distinguished air groups. The 11th Sentai operated in the China-Burma-India theater between 1942 and 1944, fighting against the Allies in the skies above the Solomon Islands. The historic airport was used by the Japanese Empire in both World Wars. The 11th Sentai Air Group was ordered to return to Japan for re-equipment and reorganization. The plan was to switch from their Ki-43-2 Hayabusa to Ki-84s. Pilots were transferred to other units, some becoming aerial combat instructors. However, many were too ill or exhausted to continue fighting. By summer, only the core of the 11 Sentai's cadre remained at the base, supplemented with hastily trained rookies. The transition to the Hayate was difficult for the novices, and the Imperial Army's Kokuhunbu was unclear on how to use the reorganized unit. The team was sent to Formosa, Taiwan, and moved again when the American invasion of the Japanese-occupied Philippines began in October. In early April, 40 Hayate fighters from the 11th Sentai departed Japan under Major Yoshihiro Kanaya's command. However, several Ki-84s had to return to base due to technical reasons, and 2 disappeared while flying over the ocean. Only 30 Hayate fighters made it to Yilan Airport in Taiwan. U.S. intelligence revealed Japan had a force of 1,200 aircraft, including the Ki-84, between the Philippines, Taiwan, Okinawa, and southern Kyushu bases. The U.S. Navy sent Task Force 38 to neutralize these forces. On October 12, the task force, supported by a B-29 formation attack from China, crashed on the Japanese. The 11th Sentai was sent into combat during the final battle against Allied aircraft. A brutal clash between F-6F Hellcats and 25 Hayates ensued, resulting in significant losses for the Americans. 6 Ki-84s were taken down, and 2 more had to desert. Most remaining fighters were damaged beyond control, posing a severe problem due to a lack of spare parts. Captain Eugene Mizuguchi took command of the 11th Sentai. The Ki-84s, initially catching American Army Air Force's pilots off guard and being strong at intercepting B-29 superfortress bombers, started showing signs of weaknesses as the fight against the Allies escalated. By late 1944, difficulties in securing skilled pilots, fuel, and construction materials prevented the aircraft from reaching its full potential. The United States 6th Army began landing on Leith on October 20th, and the 11th Sentai engaged them 2 days later. However, the group's fighters were no longer vital, and their first combat mission over the archipelago was a failure. The Ki-84s were tasked with defending critical areas near Manila, while naval air forces were engaged in the battle for Leyte Gulf. They encountered several P-38 Lightning and P-47 Thunderbolts, losing 3 more aircraft. As November approached, the group had only 3 combat-worthy fighters and was reinforced by the 1st Sentai. They touched down on Clark Field in the Philippines, but only half of the 40 Hayate made it. They were sent to Perak Airfield. By mid-December, the group was sent on a mission against the Allied-occupied port and airfield of San Jose on Mindoro. The 11th Ki-84 lost no aircraft, and resources were scarce, significantly affecting Hayate production. By January 9, 1945, the group had no combat-worthy Ki-84s left. In March 1945, the 11th Sentai, an elite Japanese fighter unit, was destroyed during the Battle of Okinawa. Most aircraft and pilots were sent to kamikaze units, causing the unit to never fly again. After the Japanese surrender, the Allied soldiers found the damaged and abandoned Hayate model, marked with number 46, on the outskirts of Clark Field. The model was taken by the Americans and transported to the United States, where it was restored to flying condition and returned to Japan in 1973. However, neglect and stolen parts prevented it from flying again. In 1991, the only surviving Ki-84 of World War II was transferred to the Tokugawa Kanankan Museum, Kagoshima Prefecture. The Nakajima Ki-84 single-seat fighter is remembered as one of the best Japanese fighters to operate during World War II, matching Allied forces like no other.